Hi everybody, I'm author April Grace, author of The Girl Behind the Glass Behind Me and Still Princess. The Girl Behind the Glass is my newest book. It came out in October and it is a dark retelling of Snow White with witches, mages, ghostly elements. Still Princess is a futuristic fantasy and is very much inspired by fairy tales, with an evil robot queen, but also pirates, mermaids, sirens, all of the sea adventure stuff. When I'm not writing, I'm also a freelance editor at Hooked on Words Editorial. So you can, if you're an author and you want some help with editing, please feel free to send me a DM or an email. I think I have my email listed on my site. And yeah, that's it. We'll get into the next video. Thanks, guys. So today we're going to be reviewing Cursed Crowns by Katherine Doyle and Catherine Webber, two lovely authors that appeared at Yalc. I was really sad to not have seen them, but this book, I finished it last night and I'm obsessed. I love this series. If you've read Twin Crowns, you'll have seen all the witchy vibes, like all the magical, the world building is just really cool in this one. It also gave me very much like Snow White vibes for some reason. I think it's Princess Rose, who later becomes Queen Rose in this book, because she's very much on her own. Her parents, she's lost her parents and so on, and she's been living in the palace, learning to be a queen under this protector guy, and she just has like Snow White written all over her. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'd recently written The Girl Behind the Glass and recently published it. That it actually reminds me of very much of this book because it has all the witches and witchy princesses and things like that. So no spoilers, but yeah. So this series is brilliant. I think I've done a couple of TikToks about this recently because there's been so much to talk about in this book. Like, if you love Twin Crowns and you were looking forward to check this one out, please do because it's so good. I did find that Twin Crowns like hooked me from the beginning, and then I was hooked throughout. But with Cursed Crowns, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because things were a little bit slower to go to get into things. But I did find it a bit slower in the beginning. But I think probably about 20%, 25%, and then after that it hooked me and then I couldn't stop reading. I think I was not disappointed, but I was just like waiting for the feeling that I had throughout Twin Crowns. So I was a bit, at first it wasn't enough to like make me think of, oh, I'm gonna DNF this. It was just me thinking like, you know, I want to keep reading it. I want to keep reading it. I just want it to get a bit more. I want it to have the finesse or the feeling that I had in Twin Crowns. But it did eventually. I say eventually. It was still pretty early on in the book, but I just found that it got a little bit slow at the beginning. But you may well think differently, so you know, this is just my opinion. But anyway, apart from the beautiful cover and the witchy world, oh, and I love the characters. I love the dialogue between the characters. These two are very sassy and very fiery, especially with Ren. She is the witch that kidnapped Rose in the first book. This one, they go off on their own separate adventures in this one, which I really liked. I did find myself enjoying Ren's story more and her dialogue, and but then I also liked Rose's romance more, if that makes sense. But I don't want to give spoilers because we know how things went in Twin Crowns. But things do change for Ren. So, and the romance that I thought came in later on in this book, I loved it. I think it just went really well with like her character, and who she is and who she becomes in this book, and the sort of like magic, because she becomes quite a dark character, and I think that this romance really fitted it or suited it. I didn't really expect it at all, especially with book one, but I really liked it. I will say there is necromancy in this book, which I was not expecting, but I really enjoyed it because they kind of made it funny in a way. Like, it's hard to explain, but if you've read Twin Crowns, or haven't read this one yet, you'll know what's happened in Twin Crowns for Prince Ansel, who is the Prince of Gevra, the younger brother, the one that was meant to marry Rose in Twin Crowns. He unfortunately died, and in this book, I don't want to say too much because of spoilers, but his brother wants to bring him back to life, and Ren, being a very powerful witch, kind of gets dragged into that. And then Rose is like, no, you can't run off. You can't leave me. I don't want that to happen. But it happens, and they end up, and then Rose ends up kind of going off on her own adventure as well, and she finds out some stuff about her love interest, which is really good. So I thought the way that it was done was really, really good. And I just love the sassy dialogue between them. I love the sassy dialogue when anyone attacks Ren. She's like so strong with her mouth, like anything she says back. Like, she is so fiery, and I absolutely loved it. And Rose is as well, although she's a bit more like, they're two very different characters, but they do like mesh really well together. Like, Rose is quite known to be a bit spoiled and a bit selfish, but she's also very loyal and very loving and caring deep down, and but she comes off a bit like that. And Ren also is very stubborn, and I love their two characters, and I love how they like come together, and they really miss each other, and they, even though everything that happened in the first book, they're still like have become like best friends basically. And I love that, and I also have very similar vibes in The Girl Behind the Glass. But yeah, I loved this book. I loved it. Necromancy, really funny necromancy. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you, but there was some stuff that Ansel was saying. He just became a very sweet character after he was brought back to life, and but it was, yeah, it's just really sweet, and it meshes, and it shows all their characters and who they are, and it's just done in a really clever way, and I loved it. But yeah, if you like Twin Crowns, and if you have been thinking about getting this one, please do, because it's so good. And yeah, I wish I could have got it signed by the authors at Yauk, but I didn't get to see them. But the queues were so long, guys. Yauk is just like crazy every year. But that's all for me, guys. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys very soon in another video.